What is up, guys? Welcome to This Week in Wrestling, 21st of December. Here from Tier 4 in England. Christmas is cancelled anyway, so let's talk wrestling.
That's because you did all your Christmas shopping late. That's why your Christmas is cancelled.
Yeah. Christmas. Boris has cancelled Christmas, so wrestling's all we have now.
Go talk myself now, so I go down the bath and drown myself.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're new here,
someone just got fucking killed on fucking TLC last night. So
we saw murder on television. If you're new here, please head over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. Like and subscribe to us down below. This week's been, I don't know, pretty trashy up until TLC. I think TLC as a whole was a great pay-per-view.
I don't know. NXT was fun. Good main event matches on it, which should have been held off a little bit more for an actual pay-per-view match. But
yeah, and I think they're building some stuff quite well there over at NXT, which is good. Obviously for their New Year's shows.
Yeah,
but I think first things first is talk about news. So Raw, which
they're in the news about someone being set on fire in a wrestling ring.
Weirdly not, but
fucking Randy gets away with it again, don't he?
So Monday Night Raw this week, which we'll talk about in a minute, hit its lowest ever viewership and ratings in its entire history, and the USA Network was said to be very, very pissed off by it.
Does that mean we're going to finally get a 2-hour show called Raw?
No, not a chance. The truth is, AEW beat Raw and SmackDown actually last week in the ratings, not in viewership, but in the key demo. They beat Raw and SmackDown, which is pretty ludicrous, really, considering the name value. And USA's paying over $1 billion for Monday Night Raw.
Ain't they mugs?
You are?
Ain't they mugs?
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Fucked when they asked that for that over here.
Yeah, exactly. They literally lost their TV partner of 30 years over here over the fact that they thought they were worth so much money. I think Sky's looking like the intelligent bunch right now.
I might have BT to go. I can't really be asked to renew you.
Yeah, and you know what? BT throws an awful lot of them. They help them out a lot, BT, with a lot of advertising, and they promo the shit out of WWE. And they're really not getting much out of them, much back.
Let's be honest. I can't say for AEW or WWE that over here is fucking great for it.
No. Over here, the wrestling business is, and that's so weird, right? Because rewind a year, the wrestling business in the UK was booming, right? This time last year.
Yeah, and then COVID happened.
And killed the bit. Yeah.
And then all these scandals came out.
Yeah, exactly.
I think scandals would have came out if COVID happened.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? You forget that seems to have been somewhat forgotten. The speaking out movement that has happened in British wrestling over this year. But there's USA Network is said to have asked them basically for more mature content.
So violence alive is more mature.
Yeah. Essentially, we get this. This is our mature content. We get humans burned alive on screen.
Well, that bit I can deal. That's the match.
I love that. Also, that is a cool image. But
setting someone on fire, is it really an example you want to set to the public? So we're going to have people across many countries now just fucking hitting someone and then on petrol burning them alive now.
I love it. I thought it was great. I love the fact
you're going to go run around and start setting people on fire, are you?
Why not? There's nothing better to do in Tier 4, is there? We've seen like this casual progression of Randy Orton becoming an arsonist over the last several years. I love it. But yeah, so
it involves fucking Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, that's true.
After that, you try to cave someone's skull in.
So, but is it going to be interesting to see what I mean? Recording this on a Monday, what comes out tonight on Raw after record low? Because if history's taught us anything, it's that ratings hit a low and Vince McMahon panics.
Guarantee you what's going to happen. Miz is getting his briefcase back.
And that's it. And the ratings are solved. Miz gets his briefcase back.
I was upset that Miz didn't win, actually.
Yeah. But also this week, I mean, the Impact AEW thing is continuing, obviously, and
Yay.
Kenny Omega is going to be headlining their pay-per-view, their next pay-per-view, Hard to Kill. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking on Rich Swann and Motor City Machine Guns. I think I was right when I say they're going to have him win all the belts. Like he's going up against TNA's Impact World Champion. But I'm actually really looking forward to that. That's going to be great.
Fucks him up. Is it just me though? If you look at Kenny now, and he's sort of lost all his abs and he's slowly getting a bit fat.
Yeah, he's tried to bulk because if you look at the size of him now compared to what he was,
what you think he looked at Will Ospreay when he went back to New Japan? I was like, I want to look like that guy.
Oh, look at yeah. He literally like because I was watching some of his like Japan stuff, like when they were talking about it on Impact, and I was like, he has put on an awful lot of weight because he's like clearly trying to get bigger, but it's weird.
I don't know why.
No. There's also this little bit of tidbit of information which Ric Flair shared, and he clearly wasn't supposed to, is that WWE is building a physical Hall of Fame and museum because they've purchased some robes and stuff off him for this museum. And
so it's not, they haven't purchased some robes off him this time to release a new WWE
game. Yeah. But which is kind of cool. We said this before, like when you go to that fan access, seeing all that old memorabilia and stuff is really kind of cool, isn't it? Yeah. And they've got so much of that stuff, and it's always been a shame that it just sort of gets thrown in a warehouse in Connecticut. I think that's a great idea. I mean, like you know things like what's it called, the hotel? What's the Rock Hotel called? Whatever it is. There's loads. What's that?
What, the SmackDown Hotel?
No. The I can't think what they're called. They got the hotels all around the world. Oh, the Hard Rock Hotel. They got those all around the world with like music memorabilia in them. It's like, this would probably work. I like this.
I don't know why they don't set that warehouse properly and do tours for it.
Yeah, same, exactly. And so it looks like this is what they're going to do. Problem is, it does sound like they're building it in Florida. I don't want to go anywhere near Florida. But not that the country will let us in because, we're banned from leaving everything. But
I'm banned from leaving my freaking.
We're banned from leaving our city. Also this week, I think on AEW, Cody Rhodes and Brandy Rhodes announced like it's baby season. Clearly, announced that they're expecting a child. See.
I bet they're like that bollocks. We just started doing a story with Brandy Rhodes, and now that's gone out the window.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, people trying to have babies.
But other than that, Monday Night Raw, what did you think?
It was a bit slow, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple of good bits in there. I thought.
I tell you what, I never thought I'd hear her say these words, but I feel sorry for Lana.
I know. Yeah, I feel sorry for Lana. She was shafted. They were building a decent story with her.
Oh yeah,
like genuinely a decent story.
And I still didn't want to see Asuka win the fucking belts.
No.
I didn't need to win. What I needed her was to boost the fucking Raw Women's title back up. Is what I wanted.
Yeah,
but no. Because let's be honest, she's slowly getting better in the ring. She's still not perfect.
Yeah,
and she's just got to stop working on when she's getting attacked and things like that and crying.
Yeah.
Weird scream cry thing.
Yeah, but no, you're right. It's like they've been actually telling a pretty decent, half decent story with Lana over the past 8 weeks, 10 weeks. It's been quite a while. They've been trying to build it, and then she gets canned for Charlotte.
Yeah.
So hopefully they do something more with Lana, and they haven't literally just shelved her.
When you come to TLC and Charlotte shows up, and you just give her a belt, you like that? Why do I give a shit about Charlotte again? Because once again, you guys just hand her stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And like I see lots of people criticizing Charlotte because I love how people forget that there's writers when they choose to. Charlotte doesn't choose to have the damn belts. They write it. But yeah, no, you're right. It's like there are people who could have done more with that.
Yes,
that opportunity. But yeah, I don't know. There was some other bits on Raw which were fine, I guess. Like Jackson Riker, that he's apparently just allowed back now. After we had the
I miss that guy. It's a shame they put him with that Bellin. No?
I don't miss that guy. That guy should have been fired. That guy should have been fired instantly after his stupid tweets. Fuck that guy. And
thing is, I thought people checked the wrestlers' tweets and were 9 times out of 10 told what they should tweet. So how do we know there isn't someone more racist further along, higher up? How do you know that?
Well, we know that they're allowed to tweet for themselves. They just get told off when they say stupid shit, which is all the time. We got a little inkling towards Randy Orton's desire to set people on things on fire on Raw as well before they announced the Inferno match. I enjoyed that little segment. But
there's quite good stuff for all of that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. But other than that, there really was very little on Raw. They had a good little promo between AJ and Drew, but that was it.
No offense, AJ fucked Sheamus up.
Oh yeah, that was a good match. The thing is, there's always decent or half decent matches, right? But the problem is, it's like they just don't really do anything else on these shows, and I think that's pretty fair for, other than NXT and occasionally Dynamite. I think that's pretty fair for most wrestling at the moment. There's some good matches, just little else.
Unless you go to SmackDown, right, where Roman's doing his thing, because Roman doesn't wrestle on SmackDown.
No, he's too good for that. And so we're talking about NXT. I enjoyed NXT.
I did. Although there was a few matches I feel that were just kind of wasted for TV.
Yeah, they're hot-shotting them. They're hot-shotting because they're being destroyed in the ratings. They're putting matches which should be on pay-per-views on their show, but the problem is no one's watching the damn show to see it. Like,
I missed out on a superstar that started off the thing with Austin Theory.
What's that?
When they missed out on the first match with Austin Theory in it.
Oh right, yeah. See, they've clearly got a lot of plans for. There's a few people I wrote them down because I think it's very clear how NXT is going. Austin Theory is obviously someone they're really looking forward to pushing, like putting in with Gargano and stuff, and letting them run. Kyle O'Reilly, they clearly obviously want to do more with him, and Tony Storm. I think they're the three.
Tony Storm's the superstar. Well, to be honest, I think actually in the women's division, there's a few now where they're coming proper uprising. Tony Storm's one of them.
Yeah, I think Tony Storm's their centerpiece for the women of NXT at the moment that they're for them to push.
I'm assuming the women's champion is still fucked up from War Games because you haven't seen her since.
Yeah, I'm assuming so. I haven't heard anything, but it doesn't seem to be as bad as what as anyone thinks. That seems to be a good thing.
So,
but yeah, they've done some really nice stuff. They've done some nice stuff like with Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley on the show as well even before the match, which was a killer match. And they announced that Dexter Lumis is going to be hosting their New Year's special.
Don't get me wrong, it's not a bad fit, but I also have to agree with what Stu Bennett says. He doesn't talk. How can you host a show if you don't talk?
Yeah. We had Kyle O'Reilly versus Pete Dunne. I'll tell you, this actually surprised me a little bit because we'd just seen Kyle face Finn. I just kind of assumed they were going to go with Pete Dunne, seeing as he just come back. So this actually surprised me. But
I told you what they plan on doing is getting Finn Balor to join that group.
Yeah, become the new leader when they try and push Adam Cole up. Unfortunately, but
what group?
Yeah,
I was talking about the British one.
Oh, the British one. I thought you meant Undisputed Era. I thought you meant that he was going to bring him in.
Trust me, if they don't take all the Undisputed Era up as one group, they're all going to fail.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, he could be the leader of the British one, but they seem to have already sort of split them up.
They haven't. Those three are still together because if you see at the beginning parts of that match, you've got Adam Cole and Roderick Strong with him, and then you got the tag team champions with.
Oh yeah, but I think they're they're moving. They seem to be moving away from it.
The only problem with that, I don't think they are. They're still kind of there in their crossroads. But the only problem you got with it is because the leader isn't there now.
Pat,
Yeah.
Pat, but by the sounds of it, they don't have any plans for him for a while.
That's what I'm on about. Finn Balor's taken over.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, it seems like without Pat McAfee, it sort of falls apart a little bit. And Finn isn't the best on the mic. So as leader,
Actually, no, Finn isn't too bad. Nan is this dark Finn Balor.
I took that black and white promo thing.
Comes off a bit bad for him. Is his accent doesn't help.
Yeah, that black and white like vignette thing, like that works well from him when they can film it and do all that sort of stuff. But like when he's just in a ring with a mic, he just comes off a bit, I don't know, bland.
I think that's a bit more of his accent than he doesn't quite manage to change his tone like Becky Lynch does.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He's like he's just one. He's just Finn. Like that's it. There doesn't seem to be any shades of grey when he's cutting a promo.
But at the same time, this might be just what some other people. That's what they get told to do.
Yeah, again, it's like not a criticism of Finn so much as his material. His material is always pretty subpar. But I enjoyed like the black and white vignettes. I think that's a much better way to go with him than having him stand in a ring. But yeah, and then you've got Karrion Kross versus Desmond Troy, whoever that is.
It's just someone to smack the beat up.
Yeah.
To be honest, the dude that he was fighting, it's one of those ones where you sort of expect a small guy. This person was quite big.
Yeah.
But I was expecting Damian Priest to suddenly just sort of stagger out somewhere and jump him.
Yeah, I don't know if they're fighting. They're fighting at the New Year's show, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, one of them.
I'm pretty sure that. Yeah, one of the New Year's shows. And then it main evented with Tony Storm and Rhea, who had a killer of a match.
Yeah, but I'm glad it was in the main event.
That's
an interview match.
Yeah,
we know it is because they focused. That's how they did the first few months with the women's division in NXT UK.
Yeah, literally. Yeah,
after that happened, I kind of lost interest.
Yeah, I mean, I just, as I said, I worry about the fact that they hot shot, and AEW does this more than anyone, but NXT is doing it as well now, where they're just putting pay-per-view matches on free television with, I mean, actually, I was going to say with no build. This has had build, but not enough to the point where.
Not enough, because in the end they had to do the quick little TV bits through the show.
Yeah, exactly. So they clearly rushed through it to be able to. Oh, here's the match. So yeah,
no offense, a lot of people haven't seen him in the Indies, haven't watched anything to do with NXT. Can't not blame them not watching much to do with NXT UK because it's a bit naff.
I think I watched the first episode of NXT UK and I didn't go any further.
So you don't know these two track records. No offense, they're both cooking going up through the same thing through Aussie and New Zealand, and they're both beating each other up through Aussie, New Zealand, UK, and bits of America, Europe.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's a shame. I've always been against having matches on a show which should be for a pay-per-view. WWE does this so often, don't they, where it's like at the pay-per-view we're going to have whoever, Elias versus Baron Corbin, so then we see it 6 times on Raw leading up to the pay-per-view, and you think, well, why do I care about the pay-per-view match? We would never have seen.
They're going to put musical instruments in there, and Elias is going to get hit by a cello.
Yeah, but it's like, you know what I mean. We'd never have seen The Rock and Austin on Raw versus Austin every single week for 3 weeks leading up to WrestleMania 17.
No, that's because Stone Cold was always making Vince McMahon piss his pants.
Yeah, exactly. They would try and do it, and it's like, and that's what always it annoys me about this, because it's like, as you say, there is a story there. There's a ready-made story for Tony Storm and Rhea Ripley, which should culminate in a pay-per-view where they don't need to wrestle every bloody week. Yeah, I don't know, that is. You're right, and as I say, I think AEW, which we'll go on to now, does that more than anyone. They just book matches for the sake of booking matches. Like they've clearly been building Hangman. It started off with Adam Page, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds. They've clearly been building Hangman to go with
a certain group that Hangman's being harassed by. Where is their so-called leader? And why is this group so much more better without their so-called leader that hasn't been there for like about a month or two?
And do you know what's even worse? I hadn't even realised. That shows how much he adds to the
You
show.
haven't been there for like a month and a half, 2 months.
Do you know? I actually, that's really bad. I literally haven't realised since he lost the title.
But they've been more better and on TV since without him.
Oh, he's injured. Yeah, I didn't realise that he is injured.
And his group's doing better.
Yeah. It makes me a bit sad that, like, look back to where we were with Adam Page at the beginning of the year, right?
Yeah.
He was on the cusp of being something special. At Revolution, they were really pushing him at Revolution with him and Kenny, and they had a great run.
That's the thing. This is what I liked about this match with the commentators. So they were actually talking about it with Hangman and the things, and were trying to say, well, now he's just got to rebuild himself back up again, where he had his bits, he had a few fall downs.
Yeah, I hope and pray that they haven't moved away from the idea of him being, the big single star. I hope they haven't. I know they're doing Kenny's thing now.
It's got to be the guy that beats Kenny.
He's got to be. He's got to be. Like, it's the perfect story. Yeah. But I don't mind it. And then we had like some Cody Rhodes and Arn Anderson stuff after that. They announced the baby announcement. And
what do you call it? It's called a baby, mate.
The baby announcement. And we had, I think Team Taz came out afterwards, didn't they? Team Taz came out afterwards.
Well, they come out a bit of their thing.
We saw Darby Allin sat up in the stands. Sting comes out, does nothing again, and goes. They're in their mind. I think in their mind, they're doing what Nitro did with Crow Sting. Where he didn't speak, he just came out, disrupted stuff, and left. Problem is, that isn't what they did. Yeah,
it was an actual story with what Sting was doing.
Yeah, there was like they spent a long time building the NWO in WCW, and a long time building Sting, and then
Sting
brought together.
Came out, actually laid a hand on someone, and actually stepped into a ring, you'd see him somewhere in the distance.
See him lurking around. Yeah, and it's like, I know that's what they're trying to do. They clearly are. It's very obvious. It's not as effective. Firstly, we now know who Sting is. And we don't need the one person we don't need to be introduced to is fucking Sting of anyone, and then they've just randomly got Darby now sitting up there pretending to be Sting. I don't get it. I said I'd give it the benefit of the doubt for another week, and I just don't. I now, if this is what they're doing with them, I don't get it. Like, I was optimistic. But then if they're just going to have him walk out every week and be like pointing or with his bat and then just leaving, that's a hell of a lot of money Tony Khan has spent to have a man point.
Just figure that appearance fee that he's getting every time.
Yeah, exactly. I bet he's laughing. He is laughing. We had some like inner circle bits here and there.
You mean the inner circle bits here and there? They were all in one fucking match.
Yeah, no. But I mean, we had the the MJF thing, and then we had the match, best friends. That match, which was supposed to be even bigger, was shortened because I think I can't remember if someone got ill or someone was injured.
Wardlow has got family problems, so he wasn't there.
Right. So yeah, so that was changed.
Talk about that.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't remember what it was. I tell you, go on.
Commentators actually. I just loved it when it come to the main event. When some dick tried to kick Tony out of his seat.
He just said no. I love that so much.
Fucking, they made that main event so much more shit by just picking up two microphones and making those two. I'm like that. Shut the fuck up, both of you muppets.
Yeah. But I tell you what, there was one person in that multi-man tag match which really stood out to me was Brian Pillman Jr. I think he's still quite young in the business, but I really like it.
The Varsity Blondes are quite a good team.
Yeah, really good team. And I love the idea of it being like the Hollywood Blondes and all that. I think it's a great little take on it. I think he really stood out to me. And then
last week or the week before when they finally broke onto TV.
Yeah, and he got dropped on his neck by someone in FTR because it became a meme. But yeah,
that's not a problem.
Yeah, it's true. But then the main event, as you say, Joey Janela and Kenny Omega. This wasn't as hard hitting no disqualification match as like their last one. It was a good match. I enjoyed it.
let's be honest, it was kind of more one way.
Pretty much, yeah. But no, I thought it was fine. We knew how it was going to end, didn't we? At the end of the day, but yeah, Don Callis' annoying voice.
Not only that, but I'm getting a bit fed up of Kenny Omega's entrance with these women with some things. Now I don't need that. I don't need every time,
every week. Yeah, it's a bit extra.
Yeah, your big match.
Yeah, I agree. I think
TV.
Yeah, you can be obnoxious. Like the whole point is obviously to try and be as obnoxious as possible. I think there's other ways to do it without seeing the same damn thing every week, because it gets to the point of no longer being obnoxious and just being like, ugh, again. Yeah, I think you're right.
Although I will be looking forward to, is it the 6th of December though, for Phoenix?
Ray Phoenix, yeah. That was really funny though. Like,
well, I'm not going to be selfish this time because
I like Pac announcing it and Don Callis just being like, "When did you become an executive? You got book matches." And then they explained it. I like that. Yeah, that's gonna be a good match. Really good match.
I just really love the way they Pac just come out. Well, me and you got unfinished business, but I'm not going to be selfish. So.
Yeah. Seeing as I've not been here for quite a long time, I thought
I was getting so thing about his whole thing because I think he forgets he's got fuck all power in TNA.
Yeah,
not
AEW. I thought Pac had come back here, but he clearly didn't, because then it makes even less.
Because on all of that, they'd actually come back for the holidays, but apparently not.
So it makes even less sense why he just wasn't on television.
So,
but there we are. Yeah, AEW was fine. They aren't building much right now. I don't feel like I feel
they're all in the Christmas mood, and everyone's having babies.
Yeah, I think they've got. I think they're doing a lot with Kenny. They've got a little bit going over here with Adam Page, and then nothing else really is going anywhere. That's the only problem right now.
You've got a couple of tag teams that they're trying to do things with. It's like, is it next week that you now got FTR v Jungle?
Yeah, Lucha Express. Those were like when AEW debuted. Lucha Express was like my favorite thing in AEW, and then obviously Luchasaurus got injured, and it was like, oh, nothing really came of them after that. Just such a shame.
And then and tag team titles, they've got are they actually putting the belts on the line next week, or just having a match?
I don't know, to be honest. I actually don't know.
So
they put the belts on the line an awful lot, so I would say probably they seem to have lots of title matches at AEW constantly.
And after a while, it does make your titles not mean shit.
It does, yeah. There is a happy medium, and I think WWE goes one way where they don't ever mention certain titles, and AEW goes the other way where every title is always defended.
WWE pisses me off for things like Unicontinental, your Snack Team title.
Yeah.
Well, they don't seem to be allowed to make it onto a pay-per-view.
They're like a TV title. Yeah.
Your Intercontinental was at one point one of the biggest titles you've ever had.
Yeah.
It almost has more history in your WWE Championship.
Yeah, it's one of the most. It's got one of the biggest lineages of any wrestling belt.
And you treat it like shit, but your United States title, that you stole from WCW.
Yeah. And talking about WWE, so SmackDown
starts off with a tag team SmackDown championship match.
Yeah. I don't know. That was a bit silly again.
I thought a little part of me would have actually quite been happy to see Rude and Dolph win the belts.
Pick it up. Yeah. There once again, SmackDown was pretty. I don't know. It didn't really go anywhere other than with Carmella. That was
Carmella were trying to kill Kevin Owens in 2 shows, like 3 days.
Yeah. But yeah, so I've enjoyed. Do you know what? That's another one. Like Lana, Carmella. I mean, the match at TLC.
Yeah, what I was saying last week with their match was she 100% improved in the ring while she was out injured.
Yeah,
she's always been good with the mic. And what I love more than anything for TLC is they changed that fucking costume.
Yes.
I never got upset that she lost.
Yeah, she genuinely that match with Sasha. And I know Sasha's just also very good and can have a good match with people.
The only
But
problem I can see with Sasha is sometimes she gets a bit too carried away, and that's how sometimes people get hurt.
yeah,
Not too often. Not too often these days.
yeah,
But she sometimes get to that mood, and you're like, oh shit, she's in that
Sasha.
zone.
Yeah, Sasha spiked herself hard at TLC. Did you notice that? Yeah, I was like,
I like to call the expert.
yeah, Jesus Christ, like, because
it wasn't even that she just sort of tried to jump. She just was like that. Fuck it.
she just, yeah, and do you know what's funny? Is like that was a really good looking move from Carmella, and then Sasha just killed herself on the cell. But yeah, no, I've enjoyed Carmella actually, and I didn't think I would say that. To be honest, I've enjoyed Carmella's return.
I'm not so impressed with her boyfriend when she's in the match, but or after the match. But does he look? She looks so beautiful when she's lost. Of course you are. You're banging her. Of course you'd say.
And now the main event of SmackDown with Bayley versus Bianca Belair, I've got to say, is just I don't get it. We had this discussion about Bayley the other week, right? Where it's like, what the fuck are they doing with Bayley? And then they let her beat Bianca, which is okay, but also they were building Bianca 3 weeks ago, and now they're beating her clean. I don't know. I just don't get it.
Maybe someone listened to our podcast and decided that we were right about Bayley.
Yeah, like because they
need to rebuild her back up. Because let's be honest, if there's your potential maybe for a Becky or a Ronda return,
yeah,
Bayley's still got plenty of fucking hype around her.
Oh yeah, oh god, yeah, and I still genuinely believe Bayley's right up there with Wrestler of the Year. You know, she's definitely in that discussion.
She definitely already won that one, especially in the women's division, any women's division.
Yeah, exactly. I think she's right up there with both men and women Wrestler of the Year in like the top 5. And
sorry, but we can't have that because I had that argument about Becky last year, and you said I couldn't have Becky with the men.
No, but that's what I'm saying. In an overall Wrestler of the Year, she's been one of the people that has really killed it this year, and it was annoying seeing the last month or so where they just kind of forgot about everything they did with her over the year. It was so weird. Like they were trying to tell that story where she couldn't pick up a win on her own, and it was like, what?
She won the belt by herself.
Yeah. Oh, it's so silly.
She came in halfway through, didn't she?
Yeah. So I'm glad she got a win, a clean win. I don't get why it's on Bianca when Bianca's supposed to be someone they're building as well.
That there's going to be more to it between these ones. So
yeah, but then again, we then get back to that discussion about, well, if you're going to have this at a pay-per-view, don't do it on SmackDown and let her lose clean, because then why do I care if she wins in a month's time? But
who knows? Maybe they'll put money on it, and then you'll care.
They put money on it. Yeah. TLC as a whole, I thought was a really good pay-per-view. Genuinely good pay-per-view.
I got to admit, the 40-minute TLC match to start the show off. And the Miz didn't win. I was a little upset about, but it was a great match.
Yeah.
I think upset. You know what upset me in all that 40 minutes of match? At no point did I find out what happened to John Morrison.
No, no.
Did he get away? Did he get caught? Who knows?
But do you know what the thing about this is, right? So they gave Otis that Money in the Bank briefcase because they were high as hell on Otis, and then they just stopped being high on Otis. So they took it away from him and gave it to the Miz. Figured out a way to give it to the Miz.
Away from Otis.
Yeah, it was. And then they gave it to the Miz, but they didn't really care for it to be on the Miz, so they just let him cash it in.
Yeah, but how they did, you damn well know though that this Monday night on Raw, he's getting his Money in the Bank briefcase back.
Yeah.
It's Morrison that cashed in the belt. No.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But it's like they basically, I don't think they had the foggiest idea what they wanted to do with that Money in the Bank briefcase. So now they're just sort of winging it because none of it sort of made any sense what they've done with it over the past few months. But it was a very, very good match, that opening match. It was long, but it was
really good.
Yeah, very good match.
The two people had to beat the crap out of one another. I'll give them their due foul, they went on doing it.
Oh yeah. And then we had Sasha and Carmella, which we just spoke about, and that was a very good match.
Yeah, although I do feel that Carmella actually right now is probably the better thing for the women's division for SmackDown.
Yeah,
out of her and Sasha.
Yeah, I agree. And Hurt Business beat New Day for the tag titles. Wait,
Yeah, but thing is, I got a feeling they're about to fuck up the Hurt Business with what they're doing with Cedric Alexander, which is going to piss me off.
I feel like this is, I don't know, the confidence boosting thing is just gonna. I don't even know where they're gonna go. But I think it's just gonna like backfire horrifically.
That's how they break up.
Yeah, they can't keep these teams together. Vince McMahon, I don't know why I say WWE. Vince McMahon hates tag team wrestling anyway, and he hates factions even more because he just breaks them up so quickly before they. And I like that. I thought that business has been killing it, especially MVP. I think MVP is genuinely like since his return, MVP's done an awful lot for an awful lot of people by being their mouthpiece. Genuinely. And then we had a very bizarre decision. So Lana was out of the match, and we had Asuka choose Charlotte to replace, and Asuka and Charlotte become women's tag champs.
Shockingly, they bring Charlotte back and put her belt straight on her again.
And the thing is, you think they'd learn, right? You think they'd learn. People moan every time they do that with Charlotte. They moan like hell every time they did it with Roman. You know, this is why it took so long for Roman to get over, and why Charlotte's. And now they're going to try and Charlotte as a face after having just put a belt on her when they know people are going to boo that decision.
Well, they can do it at the moment. There's no fans.
I don't get it. It's like you'd think they would learn from the past.
So
yeah, exactly. They can just pipe in the cheers, and that I can't wait for the day that they get a full building again and they get a rude awakening that their booking decisions are not at all what they think they are. When they can pipe it in and they get back in and be like, oh,
getting cheered,
but getting cheered, yeah.
So
yeah, and then we had Roman versus KO. I thought this was a very good match as well. Very, very good match.
Yeah. Once again, Roman's almost.
Yeah, but Roman's been killing it in ring. Not even just his counter. In ring, he's changed his style, and he's actually become a very, very good worker. I mean, he's never been bad, but
you take your vest off, he's able to move.
Yeah.
Who knew? Yeah. Apart from him.
I thought this was great. I think apparently Roman was like favoring his shoulder when he after the match. They were saying that like he was holding his shoulder.
At one point, basically no, but at one point he got hit in the up here on the thing. So even after when he hits that spear into the table, he holds that.
Yeah, but by all accounts, everyone's saying he's just very good at his job. that was the line. That was the line that because obviously Fightful and all these other people, they asked if he was okay or if he was injured, and the response that they got from WWE was he's just very good at his job. You know, he's selling it very well.
Yeah, he got smacked in the fucking shoulder by a fucking chair.
Yeah,
he's doing great. These fucking injuries. He's been doing a Lesnar.
yeah. I took Sean Ross had a good point on Twitter. He said that it's a lost art which Roman has sort of rediscovered here, in that he's had feud with Jay and a feud with Kevin Owens, and both of them people have left the feud losing but looking better.
Yeah,
which is a lost art.
And then unfortunately, after Jay finished feuding with his cousin, they fucked him up.
They immediately go back.
Started off high for a couple of weeks and then fucked it up.
But like they're on there, they're trying again with him. But yeah, they did. They fucking buried him for 2 weeks. Well, not buried him, but they beat him for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, and then so hopefully they can do something with Kevin Owens now. Use this to actually boost Kevin Owens.
I am waiting for Jimmy to come back.
Yeah, by all accounts, it's still quite some time, isn't it? Because he's not even listed apparently on their because he wasn't drafted or anything, because they didn't even have a date for when he's anticipated back. And then
I'd love to see Jimmy come back because Jimmy could be the one that cost him the fucking belt.
Yeah, that's a perfectly ready-made story for him right there. And then in our main event, we had
a murder.
We had murder. We had the Firefly Inferno match, Randy Orton and the Fiend. I enjoyed it because it was so bizarre.
You know what? This confused me, which took me a little bit away from enjoying it. The Fiend.
Mm.
The person that always seems to get up no matter what, more or less. There's eventually some things can keep him down. But not an awful lot happened to him, and he stayed down on the floor for an awful lot of times when Randy did a slight thing to him. But all the other times, he just suddenly bounced back up again. No offense, you didn't put him in fire, lost the match, and he just comes at you.
Yeah. I mean, he
RKO and some other things, but it wasn't just that end part as well. There was other bits in the match where normally you just suddenly see him get back up.
Yeah, I tell you what there was some really creative spots in this match, though. Murder aside, there was some really creative spots in this match.
Well, it's never be done again. He's dead.
Like when he had like the strap on fire, and when he poured the gasoline up to the stairs.
I was a bit worried about because all of a sudden it shoot up the fucking strap pretty damn quick.
Yeah, I do think that, and he was so like carefree pouring that gasoline on the floor. I'm thinking he's going to get it on his shoe. We're going to see him on fire by accident. This is going to be a disaster.
He was slightly on fire on his legs and stuff.
Yeah. But I thought there was some like, genuinely really like they had like the axe handle or whatever it was, pickaxe handle on fire, and genuinely some really creative spots. One of my favorite cinematic matches they've done, to be honest.
By setting someone on fire at the end of it all.
I love that so much. Obviously, yeah, he set his back on fire and he just ran it in.
Technically, live TV is boiling event. Let's set the person on fire. That's great to show everyone that's crazy around the world.
Hey, look, if they can see it at any time on like they can see that stuff on freaking Game of Thrones and stuff. If people want to, they can see it on a million different TV shows. Murder.
Yeah, because that stuff was aimed towards that thing, and you could tell that it was a fucking thing. This one, like some fucking poor muppet thinks it's fucking real over in some place, not realizing that wrestling still is. It's a sport entertainment. It tells you a story.
Hey, look, we've seen people get set on fire. We've seen Kane get set on fire. We've seen people buried alive.
Technically, I've never seen someone get buried alive because they never show me the Undertaker in the Kane when it gets dropped.
Yeah, that's true. It's because he
Kane only had his arm burned, not his whole body.
We've seen Big Boss Man get hanged from the ceiling.
Yeah, I know. That was a bit sick and twisted, weren't it?
But we've seen an awful lot of like things. We saw Seth Rollins gouge a man's eye out the other month.
We didn't see shit. We all know that wasn't an eye gouging.
Yeah, just like we know that the Fiend was a dummy because like they paused too long on this. They paused too long on this scene here where you can clearly see it.
Yeah, no, I already knew that he was a dummy, but let's be honest, there'll be some people out there that don't understand that part.
I thought that was great.
The body of people getting burned alive now goes up. We all know where to blame.
Hey, could you imagine Spike in like the Middle East? Spike, we can't figure out why, but there has been 4,000 people being burnt over the Christmas period.
Someone running around in this weird mask too.
Yeah, I think it's the least of everyone's worries if people think this is real, because if they think it's real, then we're fucking doomed anyway.
Have you met people in this world?
Yeah, that's true.
Fucking Donald Trump in America voted him as president, so there's a lot of stupid
Trump
out there.
Trump in America, Boris here, and that's how 2020 has gone. But other than that, that is it for this week in wrestling, and it's also pretty much that's it for like this year in wrestling, really, because the next thing we're going to be talking about the wrap up of the year.
Who survived COVID?
Who survived the WWE Performance Center, basically. I
don't know. AEW is just as bad.
Hey, AEW never had an outbreak in their facilities or within their company. They had individuals at home and things that got it, but because they were testing, they managed to never have it spread in there.
Oh, it didn't go quite according to the plan, though, did it? and then they died putting their measures in place properly.
Yeah, because they learned very quickly, and then and WWE didn't.
That's because WWE had the fucking president backing them.
Yeah, and yeah, basically, we'll talk about all that and cover best matches, best wrestlers, all that stuff next week on our end of the year program. If you are new here, please do like and subscribe to us here. Head over and follow us on Twitter at SEW_podcast. And we'll see you next week for another video. We are out.